And then guess what? Today, the fuqaha, they have fabricated narrations that the Mahdi said that in my absence, follow the fuqaha. Who are the fuqaha? Ayatollah Mazahiri, Ayatollah Sistani, and another Absurdistani, and all these people who can't, most of them, or 99% of them, who can't read the Fatiha correctly, from whom they take their deen from. Non, non-infallibles, fallible people. This is in short this story of their belief in the 12 Imam. There's much more to tell, but obviously I don't want to take the time of our brothers as well.
Jazakallah khairan, Hassan. Can you hear me okay? Because I know you guys are having some issues. If it does cut out, feel free to jump in at any time. Okay, so Hassan's clearly established that, well, not just Hassan, even with Salman and Idris before, we've clearly established that definitely the Shia Mahdi is not the Sunni Mahdi. We're talking about two different people, two different sets of narrations. There are some similarities, such as, you know, the Kunya Mahdi, but of course, you know, there's clearly differences. So they're not the same person. And of course, the way we view the Mahdi, most importantly, is completely different. As Abu Mahdi was saying, it is vital in Ahlul Sunnah to understand who the Mahdi is, but it is, you know, it's not part of our salvation, or it's not to the, you know, it doesn't carry the same importance as it does as in Shiism. You cannot, you know, you cannot reject the Mahdi in 12 Shiism. You are kafir, according to. Okay, so Hassan's given us some kind of background with regards to his birth. Now, of course, as I said before, we want to establish whether or not it is fair to say he is the Dajjal. So let's establish who the Dajjal is. I'd like to invite Fatima to join me as well for this. Fatima, your camera's on. I know you don't want your camera to be on, so if you are there, you can turn it off. And of course, I want Hassan Shamrani and Abu Mahdi to join me as well. So, importantly, very important, guys, anything to do with the end of times, such as the Mahdi, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, there are, and a lot of baseless reports that have been popularly spread. So if you go on YouTube, watch any video, you'll find a lot of information about the end of times, but a lot of it is baseless. So we have to be extremely careful here, okay? Including the Dajjal. And even when you look at reports that are widely accepted as authentic or are popular, you have to be careful as well. Because sometimes they seemingly seem to contradict themselves. So we have to always be careful, especially with the topic of Dajjal. So what we do know about the Dajjal, of course, there's some Sahih narrations in Bukhari. You've heard them all. The Dajjal is one-eyed and your Lord is not one-eyed, right? And, you know, narration speaking about his eye looking like a floating grape. There's other narrations. I'm just skimming through them. I'm just summarizing them for you. He's a one-eyed liar. What else do we have? This is all Bukhari so far. We have another narration saying the Dajjal will emerge from a land in the east called Khurasan, and this was classified as Sahih by Albani. So that's, maybe that might be one similarity that we'll go into a bit later on. So we also have another narration saying that the Dajjal will emerge from the Jews of Isfahan, and with him will be 70,000 Jews. Now, importantly is the fitna of the Dajjal. So this is where we find more similarities. Less about physical appearance, more about the fitna. And I know Hassan's going to elaborate on that. I'm just going to bring in Fatima. Give me a second. Fatima, you might want to unmute your mic.
Salam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. I think YouTube and the servers are having some issues.
Yeah, there's some major issues for everyone. Did you miss what I was saying?
I missed. I just heard Abu Fatima. So.
Never mind. We were just establishing who the Dajjal is, okay? And we were saying that most likely we'll find similarities with the Shia Mahdi with the fitna of the Dajjal and some of the things that he will be doing, okay? Now, we'll get into it later, but one of the things that that will be part of the fitna of Dajjal, and I'll read the narration out. It's classified as Sahih by Albani, narrated by Ibn Majah. The Prophet ﷺ said of the Dajjal, part of his fitna that he will say to a Bedouin, do you think that if I resurrect your father and mother for you, you will testify that I am your Lord? He will say yes. So two devils will appear to him in the image of his father and mother, saying, "O my son, follow him, for he is your Lord." So as you can see, he will deceive people as to make it look like he's resurrecting people. Now, similarly, as we'll get into shortly, the Shia Mahdi will also resurrect, but you'll be shocked by some of the things that Hassan's going to be introducing to us. I think it's fair to say, based on the narrations, if you compare the Sunni narrations of the Dajjal and the Shi'i narrations of their Mahdi's worse. SubhanAllah, imagine. And Rasulullah said, the Dajjal is the greatest fitna yet. and we'll get to that. Fatima, did you want to add anything? Abu Mahdi, Hassan, feel free to jump in whenever.
I think that Hassan Shamarani is actually he's more knowledgeable in this field than me, but a few narrations that I found problematic with the Shia narrations is that the resurrection of certain Sahaba, radiallahu ta'ala anhum, Sahabiyat, and that he will slaughter them upon the kufr. They were meant to die.
Oh, there's a lot of slaughtering. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
So I mean, subhanallah, this is pretty much a Dajjal, a liar that has anti-Arab sentiments and anti-Islamic sentiments. That and subhanallah, one can point out many of the similarities between.
Voice is gone.
Yeah, he's coming off. I think, like I said, the similarities are going to be more to do with the fitna, and by the conclusion, I think everyone will understand that it is fair to say that the 12 Shi'as are ready to be fooled by the Dajjal. I think that would be a fair conclusion based on what we're going to hear about their Mahdi, what they've been taught about their Mahdi, and what we've been taught about the Dajjal. Hassan, let's get into the nitty-gritty, inshallah.
Okay.
First of all, Hassan, I'd like to clear up some misconceptions since you were establishing who the Shi'i Mahdi is. Now, of course, regularly when you see Sunnis and Shias attacking one another on social media, one of the things that Sunnis will always say to Shias, you've even seen polemicists make this mistake by saying things such as, your Mahdi's hiding in a cave, or your Mahdi's hiding in a cellar. Is this correct?
According to travel belief, the 12th Imam is roaming the earth, and he is provided by Allah, and he lives and goes wherever he wants, and he visits, if he likes, as the scholars say. Just a few days ago I listened to one of them. He visits the basement, if he likes, of his father Al-Askari in Samarkand, the basement of his house, where he was seen the last time. So if any Sunni believes, I doubt that, I mean, come on, other than really super laymen, that they actually, someone literally believes he's literally there 24 hours doing what? I mean,
I've seen it said. I've seen Sunni polemicists say such things.
No. I agree. No, I agree. Listen. Things come out of my mouth as well. If someone or I say, مثلا, Dajjal or 12 Dajjal or basement Mahdi, cave Mahdi, or something like that. I thought our opponents are not literalists. Who understands from this that anybody believes that he's literally 24 hours residing in a cave or in a basement? I mean, listen, there's a lot of jahl going around that some Sunnis do believe that he's literally in a cave. I don't know, but the people of knowledge, people who have studied their sect, they don't believe in this. We know what they believe in, and I can tell you, they believe, and you have to understand this. They believe that this 12th Imam is on the run, or at least he was on the run. And that's the irony, because one thing I've learned, whenever the Rafida unjustly, really, and most of the attacks are obviously unjustly, if not all, or criticism. Whenever they say, for example, Umar ibn Al-Khattab or Fulan Sahabi ran away in this battlefield and on that battlefield, and then you look in their books, the scholars have this is not weak hadith or something, that someone said, oh, Shabrani is quoting that. This is testimony from the scholars. For example, their scholars are saying that the 12th Imam literally ran away, was running on the run from mortal, simple human beings like the Bani Abbas. Why? This is important. The why is important. Out of fear of being killed. Fear. Khawf. They've literally used the word. So it's halal for their superpowers possessing, atoms controlling, Hujjah on earth, to run away from a bunch of mortals of Bani Abbas. Yeah. But if Fulan Sahabi or that Sahabi in a absolute chaotic situation, Fulan runs, that's Kufr Akbar. But anyway, I want to read the first narration, which I believe is very, very important, from my article that I believe, in its own right is a little book.
Hassan, can I say one thing before you carry on? I think there's loads of different people watching. I don't think many of them are actually properly familiar with the concept of the Shia Mahdi and how it differs from the Sunni Mahdi. We discussed the background of the Sunni Mahdi, how Muhammad bin Abdullah, how he'll be rectified overnight, and his actions. I don't think most people even know what the background of the Shia Mahdi is. The fact that they are two completely separate people, and that B, from the lineage of the 12th Imams, he will be the offspring of the 11th Imam. So just establishing that basic fact first, because I think we're diving straight into the Shia Imam, what he does, and some narrations regarding him without establishing that for the benefit of the viewers. So he's from the lineage of the 11th Imam. Apparently, supposedly he was given birth to, but we know that there's very scant evidence regarding his existence to begin with. So we just quickly go over that bit before you go into the meat of the topic, inshallah.
I think Hassan's already covered that, to be honest.
Well, everybody who just joined now, well, he needs to watch the video later, obviously.